remember late one night when I was very young, I came across Garbo's Camille while channel surfing. And I fell in love. I must have seen it 5 or 6 times after that, and each time I hoped and prayed with all of my heart that she would not die of consumption. I watched breathless with expectation and hope, and each time I was disappointed, and each time I swore to watch it again in search of some alternate ending, an alternate last reel. Tucked away in some forgotten vault in Hollywood, Greta Garbo survived consumption, oncoming trains, and firing squads. Every time. I still want to believe in the existence of alternate reels. I still want to believe that somewhere, somehow, there is a happy ending to every story. It all just depends on how thoroughly you look for it, and how deeply you need it. The baby was found in a waste paper basket, with the umbilical cord knotted around its neck. The mother was found unconscious next to the door to her room, suffering from an excessive loss of blood. She was indicted for manslaughter and sent to trial. Her case was assigned to me, Dr. Martha Livingstone, as court psychiatrist, to determine whether or not she was legally sane. I wanted to help this young woman.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume? I am Mother Miriam Ruth, in charge of the convent where Sister Agnes is living.
Yes, how do you
You
do?
needn't call me Mother if you don't wish.
Thank you.
The word can bring up the most unpleasant connotations for some people.
Yes, well,
And forces a familiarity that not many are comfortable with right off the bat.
of course.
You may call me Sister. I brought Sister Agnes for her appointment. They're allowing her to stay on the convent until her trial.
I know.
I wanted to offer my help.
Well, thank you, Sister. But I haven't even met Sister Agnes yet.
You
If
must
anything
have a
is
kind of
unclear,
question.
Yes, and I'd like to ask them of Agnes.
She's no help there.
What do you mean?
She's blocked it out, forgotten it. I'm the only one who can answer those questions.
How well do you know Sister Agnes?
I know Agnes quite well. We are a contemplative order, not a teaching one. Our ranks are quite low. I was chosen Mother Superior 4 years ago, just prior to Agnes joining us, so I believe I am more than qualified to answer any questions you may have. Are you a smoker? I can smell it.
No, I'm sorry. I try to keep it in the room, but
No,
it just
no,
seems
no. I don't mind. In fact, I used to love it, so please, feel free.
You were a smoker.
Happy day.
I can beat that, Sister.
Lucky strikes. My mother used to say that one of the only things you could trust in this crazy world was the no bullshit honesty of unfiltered smokers. You have questions? Fire away.
Yes, who knew about Agnes's pregnancy?
No one.
How did she hide it from the other nuns?
She undressed alone, bathed alone.
Is that normal?
Yes.
And how did she hide it during the day?
She could have hidden a machine gun if she wanted to.
And she had no physical examination during this time?
We are examined by the doctors once a year. Her pregnancy happened to fall in between visits.
And who found the baby?
I did. I'd given her permission to retire earlier that night. She wasn't feeling well. And a short while later, I went to her room.
The nuns have separate rooms?
Yes, I found her unconscious, lying by the door. And I tried to revive her, and when I couldn't, I called for another sister to call an ambulance. That's when I found the waste paper basket.
Found.
Yes, it was against the wall under the bed.
What made you think to look there?
There was a lot of blood. I was cleaning.
Were you alone when you found it?
No, there was another sister with me, Sister Margaret. She called the police.
And who was the father?
I haven't a clue.
What men had access to her?
None that I know.
There was a doctor?
Yes, but
A man?
yes, but I told you she
What about
didn't
a priest?
Yes.
What's his name?
Father Marshall, but I hardly see him as a candidate.
And why not?
He's very shy.
And could there be anyone else?
Obviously there was.
Then why didn't you try to find out who?
Believe me, I did at the time. We keep careful records of each of our visitors' deliveries. I checked them all.
You didn't ask Agnes?
Please. She doesn't remember the birth. I hardly believe she'd admit to the conception. Besides, I don't see how that's relevant to her.
Oh, come on, sister.
No, the important thing is somebody gave her that baby. That we know. But what happened some 12 months ago, I failed to see how the identity of that someone will help her in her trial.
Now, why do you think that?
Don't ask me those questions, dear. I'm not one of your patients.
But I am the doctor. I am the one who decides what is and is not important here.
Yes.
So why are you avoiding my question?
I'm not avoiding any
Who
questions.
was the father?
I don't know.
I'd like to see her now.
Doctor, I don't know how to say this politely, but I don't approve of you. Not you personally, but
The science of psychiatry?
yes. I want to ask you to deal with Agnes as speedily and as gently as possible. She's a very fragile woman, and I don't think she'll handle well under this cross.
Sister, I'm not with the Inquisition.
And I wasn't born in the Middle Ages. I know what you are. You're a surgeon. I don't want you to cut this brain open.
Is there something that you're afraid I might find?
I want you to be careful. That's all.
And quick.
Yes.
Why?
She's different.
Than other nuns, I can see that.
From other people, she's special.
In what way?
She's gifted. She's blessed.
What do you mean?
There. She has the voice of an angel.
Does she often sing when she's alone?
Always. She's embarrassed to sing in front of others. When I first heard that voice, I couldn't connect it with the simple child I knew. Her voice, it belonged to someone else.
Would you send her in, please?
You'll be careful, won't you?
I'm always careful, sister.
May I stay?
No.
I'll send her in.
There was a lynching mob that came before a judge who accused them of hanging a man without a fair and objective trial. Oh, Your Honor, said their leader, we listened very fairly and objectively to every word he had to say. And then we hung that son of a bitch. I wanted to maintain my objectivity, but Mother Miriam wouldn't believe that. She couldn't have known about Marie. But she must have suspected something. Marie was my older sister, who was closer to me than anyone. She believed in me, which was more than our mother did. She entered the convent when I was 13. I was devastated. The judge, by the way, knew that my sister was a nun, which is why he assigned me to the case. What he didn't know was that Marie died of acute and unattended appendicitis because her mother superior wouldn't send her to a hospital. So no, I couldn't be very fair and objective, could I? I remember waiting to view Marie's body in that little convent room and looking at those spotless walls and floors and thinking, my God, what a perfect metaphor for their minds. And that's when I realized that my religion, my Christ is this, the mind. Everything that I understand and perceive is contained within these few cubic inches, within the shell of bone and blood and flesh. I have the potential of knowing absolutely everything. I look at a tree and I think, isn't it wonderful that I have imagined something so green? God isn't out there, but he's in here. I am God, and so are you, but Mother Miriam couldn't understand that. She reminded me so much of my own mother. And as for Agnes, just listening to her voice.
Hello.
Hello. I'm Dr. Livingstone. I've been asked to speak to you. May I?
Yes.
You have a lovely voice.
No, I don't.
I just heard you.
That wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't my receptionist, was it? I heard her sing once, and she was so sharp she hit a high note and shattered a patient's eyeglasses. You're very pretty, Agnes.
No, I'm not.
Hasn't anyone ever told you that before?
I don't know.
Well, I'm telling you now. You have a lovely voice, and you're very pretty.
Let's talk about something else, all right?
What would you like to talk about?
I don't know.
Anything. First thing that comes to your mind.
God. But there's nothing to say about God.
Second thing that comes to your mind.
Love.
Love. And why love?
I don't know.
Have you ever loved someone, Agnes?
God.
I mean, have you ever loved another human being?
Oh, yes.
And who's that?
Everyone.
Who specifically?
Right now?
Yes.
Well, I love you.
But have you ever loved a man? Other than Jesus Christ?
Yes.
And who would that be?
There are so many.
Do you love Father Marshall?
Yes.
Do you think he loves you?
Oh, I know he does.
He's told you that.
No, but when I look in his eyes, I can see.
You've been alone together.
Yes.
Often?
At least once a week.
Did you like that?
Yes.
And where do you meet?
In the confessional.
I see. Do you ever meet outside
You want
of
to
the
talk about the
confessional?
baby, don't you?
Would you like to talk about it?
I never saw any baby. I think they made it up.
Who?
The police.
Why should they do that?
I don't know.
Do you remember the night they said it came?
No. I was sick.
How were you sick?
Something I ate.
Did it hurt?
Yes.
Where?
Down there.
What did you do about it?
I went to my room.
What happened there?
I got sicker.
And then?
I fell asleep.
In the middle of all of that pain.
Yes.
But where did the baby come from?
What baby?
The baby that they made up.
From their heads.
Is that where they say it came
No,
from?
they say it came from a waste paper basket.
Where did it come from before that?
From God.
After God, before the waste paper basket.
I don't understand.
How are babies born?
Don't you know?
Yes, I think I do, but I would love for you to tell me.
I don't know what you're talking about. You want to talk about the baby. Everybody wants to talk about the baby, but I never saw the baby, so I can't talk about the baby.
Then
I
let's
don't
talk
believe
about
in the
something
baby.
else.
No, I'm tired of talking. I've been talking for weeks and nobody believes me when I tell them anything. No one listens to me.
I'll listen to you.
But I
It's my
don't
job.
want to have to answer any more questions.
Then how would you like to ask them?
What do you mean?
Just like that. You ask, I'll answer.
Anything?
Anything.
Who's your patron saint?
Well, my first name is Martha, so I guess it's Saint Martha?
Jesus liked her! But he scolded her once for being too worldly. Are you married?
No.
Would you like to be?
Not right now, no.
Do you have any children?
No,
Would you like some?
I can't have them.
Why?
I've stopped menstruating.
Why do you smoke?
Oh, does it bother
No
you?
questions.
I'm addicted. I've tried to quit, but hypnotism didn't work. Acupuncture didn't work. Nicotine substitutes are a waste of time and money. They don't give me what smoking gives me, which isn't nicotine. I bet you're sorry you asked. Do you have any other questions?
One.
What's that?
Where do you think babies come from?
From their mothers and their fathers, of course. Before that, I don't know.
Well, I think they come from when an angel lights on their mother's chest and whispers in her ear. That's what makes good babies start to grow. Bad babies come from when a fallen angel crawls in down there and they grow and grow until they come out down there. And you can't really tell the difference except that bad babies cry a lot and make their fathers go away and their mothers get very ill and die sometimes. I don't think Mummy was very happy when she died. I think she might have gone to hell because every time I see her, she looks like she just stepped in a hot shower. And I can never tell if it's her, the lady who tells me things. They fight over me all the time. I met the lady when I was 10. I was staring up at the sun, and the sun became a cloud, and the cloud became the lady, and she told me she'd tell me things. And then I saw her feet were bleeding, and there were holes in her hands, and I tried to catch the blood as it fell from the sky, but I couldn't see anymore because my eyes hurt, because there were big black spots in front of them. And she tells me things, like right now she's crying, Marie, but I don't know what that means. It's like she has this big hook that she throws up in the air and it catches me under my ribs, and she's pulling me up, but she can't because Mummy's holding onto my feet, and all I can do is sing in her voice. It's the lady's voice. God loves you. God loves you.
Do you know a Marie?
No. Do you?
Do you hear them often?
I
these
don't
voices?
want to talk anymore, all right? I just want to go home.
So, what do you think? Is she totally bananas or just slightly off center? Or is she completely sane and just a really good liar? What have you decided?
I haven't yet. What about you?
Me?
You know her better than I do. What's your opinion?
Well, I believe she's not crazy, nor is she lying.
But how could she have a child and know nothing about sex or birth?
She's an innocent. A slate that's been untouched except by God. She's no room in her mind for those facts.
Bullshit.
In her case, it isn't. Her mother was crazy, kept her at home almost all the time. She hardly had schooling. When her mother died, Agnes came to us. She had never been out there. She's rarely seen television shows or movies. She hasn't been on the internet.
But if she's so innocent, how could she murder a child?
She didn't. This is manslaughter, not murder. She did not consciously kill that baby. I don't know what you call it, whatever psychological medical jargon you people use. But she was not conscious at the time. She had lost a lot of blood. She passed out by the time I found her.
So you expect me to believe that she gave birth, killed the baby, hid the wastepaper basket, and crawled to the door, all in some sort of unconscious trance?
I don't care what you believe. You're her psychiatrist, not her jury. You're not determining her guilt.
Was there ever any question of that?
What do you mean?
Could someone else have killed that child?
Not in the eyes of the police.
And in your eyes?
I've told you what I believe.
That she was unconscious at the time. Yes, so someone else could have
You
easily
don't
come in and
honestly
done it.
think someone else did this.
It's a possibility.
Who?
One of the other nuns, she found out about the baby and wanted to avoid a scandal.
Don't be absurd.
Possibility never occurred to you?
No one knew about Agnes's pregnancy. No one. Not even Agnes.
When did you find out about this innocence of hers? About the way that she thinks?
A short while after she came to us.
And you weren't shocked?
I was appalled, just as you are now.
What happened?
She stopped eating completely.
This was before her pregnancy?
Almost 2 years before.
How long did it go on?
I don't know. It could have been a week before it was reported to me.
And why did she do it?
She didn't say it first. But then she was brought before me. Sounds like a tribunal, doesn't it? When we were alone, she confessed. She said she was commanded by God. He spoke to you himself?
No.
Through someone else?
Yes.
Who?
I can't say.
Why not?
She'd punish me.
One of your sisters?
No.
Then who? Why would she tell you to do this?
I don't know.
Why do you think?
Because I'm getting fat.
For heaven's
I
sake!
am! There's too much flesh on me!
Agnes,
I'm a blimp.
why does it matter whether you're fat or not?
Because
You needn't worry about being attractive here.
I do. I have to be attractive to God.
He loves you as you
No,
are.
he doesn't. He hates fat people.
Who told you this?
It's a sin to be fat.
Why?
Look at the statues. They're thin.
Agnes.
That's because they're suffering. Suffering is beautiful. I want to be beautiful.
Who tells you these things?
Christ said it in the Bible. He said, "Suffer the little children, for such is the kingdom of heaven." I want to suffer like a little child.
That's not what he meant.
I am a little child, but my body keeps getting bigger. I don't want to get bigger because then I won't be able to fit in. I won't be able to squeeze into heaven.
Agnes. Heaven is not a place with walls or windows.
Look at these! I've got to lose some weight.
Dear
I'm
child.
too fat. I'm a blimp. God blew Hindenburg. He'll blow at me too. That's what she said.
Who?
Mommy. She said I'll get bigger and bigger every day and then I'll pop. But if I stay little, that won't happen.
Agnes, your mother tells you these things? My dear child, your mother is dead.
But she watches.
No.
She listens.
Nonsense. I'm your mother now and I want you to eat.
I'm not hungry.
You have to eat something, Agnes.
No, I don't. The host is enough.
I hardly believe the communion wafer has the daily allowance of anything.
Of God.
Yes. Of God.
What does that word mean? Be God.
Be God? You don't know?
Is that God my Father?
Only spiritually. You don't know what that word means? Be God?
Be God. That's what she calls it, but I don't understand it. She says it's when God presents us to our mothers in bundles of 8 pounds, 6 ounces.
Agnes.
I have to be 8 pounds again, Mother.
Even drop the 6 ounces. Here. Now what's wrong?
I'm being punished.
For what?
I don't know.
How? What happened? Oh dear Jesus.
Oh dear Jesus! Sorry this morning! I can't get it to stop! Why me, Mother? Why me?
Did she do it to herself?
No, I don't think so. It was gone the following morning.
Did it ever come back?
No, not that I know.
And you didn't send her to a doctor?
I didn't see a need. She started eating again. That's all I thought was...
You thought that's all there was to it. Get some food down her throat and she's fine.
Of course not. Look, I know what you're thinking. She's a hysteric, pure and simple.
Not simple, no.
I saw it. Clean through the palm of her hand. You think hysteria did that?
It has been doing it for centuries. She's not unique. She's just another victim.
Yes. God's victim. That's her innocence. She belongs to God.
And I mean to take her away from him. That's what you fear, isn't it?
But I do.
I prefer to look upon it as opening her mind.
To the world.
To herself, so she can begin to heal.
But that's not your job, is it? Your job is to diagnose, not to heal.
That is a matter of opinion.
Judge's opinion.
Your opinion. I am here to help Agnes in whatever way I see fit. That is my duty as a doctor.
But not as an employee of the court. You are to make a decision on her sanity and not interfere with the due process of law. Those are the judge's words, not mine.
Yes, as quickly as I see fit. Not as possible. I haven't made that decision yet.
But the longer you take to make your decision, the more difficult it will be for her. You have to let her go.
Back to court?
Yes.
And what then? If I say she's crazy, she goes to an institution. If I say she's sane, she goes to prison.
Temporary insanity, then.
Oh, yes, I can say that a girl who sees bleeding women at 10 years old and 11 years later strangles a baby is temporarily insane. Mother, this case is a little more complicated than that.
As I said, the longer you take to make your decision, the more difficult it will be for her.
Why?
Because the world is a very damaging experience. Especially for someone who hasn't seen it for 21 years.
And you think that the sooner she's in prison, the better off she'll be?
I am hoping that whatever her sentence, the judge will allow her to return to the convent and serve her time and penance here.
We'll see about that.
You wouldn't allow her to
I
return?
wouldn't send her back to the source of her problem. No.
Your decision has nothing to do with
My
where she is
recommendation has everything to do with everything.
placed. You'd send her to a prison.
If I felt that she was guilty of a premeditated crime,
to an asylum.
if I felt it would help her,
It would kill her.
I doubt that.
I am fighting for this woman's life, not her temporal innocence.
Were you fighting for her life when you didn't even send her to a medical doctor?
What?
She had a hole through the palm of her hand. She could have bled to death, and you didn't send her to a hospital? That girl could have died, all because of some stupid idea that
But
she's
she
better
didn't
off-
die, did she? If anyone had seen what I'd seen, she'd be public property. Newspapers, psychiatrists, ridicule. She doesn't deserve that.
But she has it now.
Yes, she does.
We would get into such arguments, my mother and I. Once I told her that God was a moronic fairy tale, responsible for Marie's death. And she slapped me. How dare you speak to me that way? She said, as if she were the injured party. And then, just out of college, I became engaged to a much older man, a Frenchman, whom my mother hated and whom I consequently adored. We screamed ourselves hoarse many a night over that man. I haven't thought about him in years. I haven't seen him since, well, I got pregnant. I didn't exactly see myself as a mother. Maurice did. So. I have no regrets about what I did. I was never a devout Catholic. My doubts began at the age of 6, and when Marie died, I walked away from the church and all of its silly rules as fast as my mind would take me. I learned to live with the anger, forget about it even, until she walked into my office. And every time since that first lovely moment, I've become more and more entranced. Marie. Oh, Marie.
Yes, Doctor?
Agnes, I'd like you to tell me how you feel about babies.
I'm afraid of them. I'm worried I'll drop them on their heads. You see, they have a soft spot in their heads, and if you drop them so they land on their heads, they become stupid. That's where I was dropped. I don't understand things.
What sort of things?
Numbers. I don't understand where they're all headed. You could count your whole life and never reach the end.
You know, I don't understand them either. Do you think I was dropped on my head?
I hope not. It's a terrible thing. One of life's greatest tragedies, being dropped on your head. And there are other things, not just numbers.
What sort of things?
Everything sometimes. I wake up and I just can't get a hold of the world. It won't stop spinning.
What do you do?
Talk to God. He doesn't frighten me.
Is that why you're a nun?
I suppose so.
But don't you think that he works through other religions, through other ways of life?
I don't know.
I mean, I could talk to him, couldn't I, if I wanted to?
You could try. I don't know if he'd listen to you.
Why not?
Because you don't listen to him.
Agnes, have you ever thought about leaving the convent for something else?
Oh no. No, there's nothing else. It makes me happy. Just being here helps me sleep at night.
You have trouble sleeping?
I get headaches. Mummy did too. She'd lie in the dark with a wet cloth over her eyes and tell me to go away. Oh, but she wasn't stupid. No, she was very smart. She knew everything. She even knew things no one else knew.
What sort of things?
The future. She knew it was going to happen to me. That's why she hid me away. I didn't mind that. I didn't like going to school, and I liked being with Mummy. She'd tell me things. She told me I'd enter the convent, and I did. She even knew about this.
This. Me?
This.
And how did she know about this?
Someone told her.
Who?
I don't know.
Agnes?
You'll laugh.
I won't laugh. I promise. Who told her?
An angel. When she was having one of her headaches before I was born.
And did your mother see angels often?
No, only when she had her headaches, and not even then sometimes.
Do you see angels?
No.
Do you believe your mother really saw them?
No. But I can never tell her that.
Why not?
She'd punish me.
How would she punish you?
She'd punish me.
Agnes, did you love your mother?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Did you ever want to be a mother yourself?
I could never be a mother.
Why not?
don't think I'm old enough. Besides, I don't want a baby.
Why not?
Because I don't want one.
But if you did want one, how would you go about getting one?
I'd adopt it.
Where would the adopted baby come from?
From an agency.
Before the agency?
From someone who didn't want a baby.
Like you.
No, not like me.
But how would you get a baby if you didn't want one?
A mistake.
How did your mother get you?
A mistake? It was a mistake.
Is that what she told you?
You're trying to get me to say that she was a bad woman. That she hated me, that she didn't want me, but that's not true. She did love me. She was a good woman. A saint. She did want me. You're not interested in the nice parts about her. All you're interested in is sickness.
Agnes, I cannot believe that you know nothing about sex.
I can't help it if
You
I'm
have no idea who
stupid.
the father of your child
They
is.
made
You
it
have no
up.
remembrance of your
It's
impregnation.
not my
And I do
fault.
not believe you ever
It
killed
was
the
a
child.
mistake.
What, the child?
Everything. Nuns don't have children.
Agnes.
Don't touch me! Don't touch me! I know what you want from me. You want to take God away. You should be ashamed. They should lock you up. People like you.
You hate us, don't you?
What? What?
Nuns. You hate nuns.
I don't.
Catholicism, then.
I hate ignorance and stupidity.
And the Catholic Church.
I haven't said anything about the Catholic Church.
This is a human being you are dealing with, not an institution.
Well, the institution has a hell of a lot to do with the human being.
Catholicism is not on trial here. I want you to deal with Agnes without any religious prejudices or turn
How
the case
dare you march into my office and tell me how to run my affairs?
It's my affair
You think
too.
that I'm in any position to be badgered or bullied
I
or
only
whatever you're
requested
trying
that-
to do here? You march in here expecting applause for the way you have treated that child.
She is not a child.
She deserves to know. She deserves to know that there's a whole world out there full of people who do not believe in God and who are still moral human beings. People who go their whole lives without bending a knee to anyone. And who still fall in love and have babies and occasionally are very happy. She deserves to know that. But you and your church and your institution have kept her ignorant.
We could hardly do that even if we
Because
wanted to.
ignorance is next to virginity, right? Poverty, chastity, ignorance.
I am not a virgin, doctor. I was married 23 years. 2 daughters. I even have grandchildren. Surprised? It might please you to know that I was a failure as a wife and a mother. It might be because I protected my children from nothing. Out of the womb and into the big bad world. They don't see me anymore. That's their revenge. They're both devout atheists. I believe they tell their friends I've passed on. So don't tell me, Dr. Floyd, that I'm making up for past mistakes.
You can help her.
I am.
No, you're shielding her. Let her face the big bad world.
Meaning you.
Yes, if that's what you think.
What good would it do? No matter what you decide, it's either prison or the nut house. And the line between the two is very thin.
There is another option.
What's that?
Acquittal.
How?
Innocence. Legal innocence. I'm sure that the judge would love any reason to throw this case out of court.
What do you mean?
Answers?
Ask.
When would Agnes have conceived the child?
About a year ago.
And you don't remember any visitors to the convent around that time? Workers, priests?
No. There was no one. I do remember around that time Agnes came to me. Oh my god.
What?
Her sheets!
What about her sheets?
Her sheets! I should have known! I should have suspected something!
What happened?
Her sheets. Sister Avery complained to me, so I called her in and... Sister Avery says you've been sleeping on a bare mattress. Is this true?
Yes, Mother.
Why?
In medieval days, nuns and monks slept in their coffins.
We're not in the Middle
It made
Ages.
them holy.
It made them uncomfortable. I'm sure when they woke up in the morning, they were as angry as mules.
Yes, Mother.
So tell me, where are your sheets? Do you really believe that sleeping on a bare mattress is the equivalent to sleeping in a coffin?
No.
Then, where are your sheets?
I burned them.
Why?
They were stained.
Agnes, how many times have I burnt into that thick skull of yours and all the other thick skulls of your fellow novices that menstruation is a perfectly natural process and nothing to be ashamed of?
Yes, Mother.
Say it.
It's a perfectly natural process and nothing to be ashamed of.
Mean it.
It's a perfectly natural process and nothing to be ashamed of.
My dear child, a few months ago, one of your sisters came to me in tears, heartbroken because she could no longer have children. Not that she intended to, but once a month she'd been reminded of that possibility. So dry your eyes, sister, and thank God.
It's not that!
What?
It's not that!
What do you mean?
It's not my time of the month.
Should we see a doctor?
I don't know! I woke up and there was blood on the sheets, but I don't know what happened. I don't understand what I did. I don't know why I should be punished!
For what?
I don't know!
Sister?
I don't know! I don't know!
Sing something with me. Won't you? What's your favorite? Virgin Mary had one
I
son.
don't know!
Oh, pretty little baby. Oh, pretty little baby.
I don't!
Glory to be the newborn king. Some call him Jesus. I think I'll call him Savior. Oh, I think I'll call him Savior. Virgin Mary had one son. Oh, pretty little baby. Oh, pretty little baby. I sent her to her room. She was calm by then, said it was nothing, but I should have known.
No, what?
That was the beginning. That was the night it happened. That's why she burned her sheet.
What else do you remember from that night?
I don't remember what night it was.
Can you find out?
Yes. I keep a day book at the convent.
And you can check for any unusual occurrences around that time.
I'll look.
By this time, I was convinced that Agnes was innocent, and that someone else had murdered her child. As to who it was and how I was to prove it, I had no clue, but my mission was clear. Prove Agnes's innocence, and somehow make her well.
I'm not sick.
But you're troubled, aren't you?
That's because you keep reminding me. If you go away, then I'll forget.
And you're unhappy.
Everybody's unhappy. You're unhappy, aren't you?
Agnes,
Aren't you?
sometimes I am. Yes.
Only that's because you think you're lucky. Because you didn't have a mother who did things to you and said things to you that maybe weren't always so nice. But you don't know that my mother was a wonderful person, and even if you did, you wouldn't believe it because you think she was bad, don't you?
Agnes,
Answer me! You never answer me!
Yes! I think that your mother was wrong sometimes.
But that was because of me. Because I was bad, not her.
What did you do?
I'm always bad.
What did you do?
No.
What did you do?
I breathe.
What did your mother do to you? If you can't tell me, just nod your head yes or shake your head no. All right? Did she hit you? Did she make you do something that you didn't want to do? Did it make you uncomfortable? Did it embarrass you? Did it hurt you? Agnes, what did your mother make you do?
No.
You can tell me.
I can't.
She's dead, isn't she? She can't hurt you
But she
anymore.
watches, she listens.
Agnes, I don't believe that. I'll protect you from her, all right?
She...
Yes?
She... makes me take off my clothes. And then...
Yes?
she makes fun of me.
She tells you you're ugly and
Yes.
stupid
Yes.
and a mistake.
She says my whole body's a mistake. She says if I'm not careful, I'll have a baby.
How would she know that?
Her headaches.
Yes.
And then... she touches me.
Where?
Down there. With her cigarette. Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Please, don't be good! I won't be your bad baby anymore!
Agnes! It's all right. It's all right. Agnes, I want you to try something for me, okay? I want you to pretend that I am your mother. Oh, and I know that your mother's dead, and I know that you're all grown up now, but I want you to pretend for a moment that she's come back and that I'm your mother. Only this time, I want you to tell me how you feel.
I'm afraid!
Don't be. I'm here to help you. Let me help you.
All right.
Okay. All right. Agnes, you're ugly. What do you say to that?
I don't know.
Of course you do. Agnes, you're ugly. What do you say?
No. I'm not.
Are you pretty?
Yes, I am.
Agnes, you're stupid.
No, I'm not.
Are you intelligent?
Yes, I am!
Agnes, you're a mistake.
I'm not a mistake! I'm here, aren't I? How can I be a mistake if I'm really here? God doesn't make mistakes! You're a mistake! I wish you were dead!
Just pretend. Remember? Agnes, I'd like to ask you a favor. You can say no if you don't like what I'm asking.
What?
I'd like your permission to hypnotize you.
Why?
There are some things you may be able to tell me under hypnosis that you cannot tell me now.
Does Mother Miriam know about this?
Mother Miriam... What? Mother Miriam loves you very much. Just as I love you very much. I'm sure that even she would not object to something that would help you.
Do you really love me? Or are you just saying that?
I really love you.
As much as Mother Miriam does?
As much as God does.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
I brought the daybook.
Agnes, you can go now. What did you find?
What did you find?
Some facts about her mother.
Yes. She wasn't the healthiest of women, physically or mentally.
You knew her?
We corresponded before her death.
How old was Agnes when her mother died?
17?
Why was she sent to you? Why wasn't she sent to next of kin?
She was. Agnes's mother was my younger sister.
You lied to me.
What?
You said you never saw Agnes before she set foot at the convent.
I didn't! I was a good deal older than my sister. I was married before she was born. She was imbalanced, even as a child. She ran away when she was very young. God knows what sort of life she led. When my husband died, and I joined the convent, she started writing to me. Told me about Agnes and asked me to watch over her in case anything happened.
And Agnes's father?
Could have been any of a dozen men. From what my sister told me, she was scared that Agnes would follow in her footsteps. She did everything to prevent that.
By keeping her home from school.
Yes.
And speaking to angels.
She drank, she did drugs, that would
Do you
kill
know
her.
what she did to Agnes?
Don't-
She molested her.
Oh, dear Jesus.
There are a lot of dirty little secrets here, aren't there? You pull back the sheets and what do you find? A niece!
I didn't tell you because I didn't know
That
you
just
was
makes you
important.
doubly responsible, doesn't it?
Had I known Agnes was
Why
something that
didn't you? You knew that she was keeping the child home from school. You knew she was an addict.
I
an
know
alcoholic.
after the fact.
Why didn't you do anything to stop her?
I didn't know! But that's no excuse, is it?
What did you find in the daybook?
Yes. Agnes told me about the sheets Sunday night. If she burned them then, they probably became stained Saturday. Unfortunately, that night, one of our elder sisters passed away. I have no recollection of any visitors to the convent. I was needed in the sick room.
Were the last rites given on that night?
Of course.
Then Father Marshall would have been present.
Yes, but I told you, I can't think that he would have anything
Somebody
to do
has
with
to
it.
be responsible for this child. Not Father Marshall, then who? Well, we'll find out soon enough, won't we? I've gotten Agnes's permission to hypnotize her.
And my permission?
I don't think you have anything to say in this matter.
I am her guardian.
She's 21 years old. She doesn't need a guardian.
She still must come to me first and ask my permission.
Does that mean you'll deny it?
I haven't decided that yet.
This woman's health is at stake.
Her spiritual health.
I don't give a good goddamn about what you call her spiritual
I
health.
know you don't.
Sentence her and be done with it. That's what
What
you're
I'm
saying. I
saying is
can't
you're a
do that.
beautifully simple woman.
An unhappy woman.
But she was happy before. And she could be happy again if she were just left alone.
Then why did you call the police in the first place? Why not just throw the baby in an incinerator and be done with it?
Because I'm a moral person, that's why.
Bullshit!
Bullshit yourself!
The Catholic Church does not have a corner on morality.
Who said
Mother.
anything about the Catholic
You
Church?
just said that she was her mother.
What the hell does the Catholic Church have to do with you?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Oh, don't deny it. I can smell an ex-Catholic a mile away. But tell me, what did we do to you? Burn a few heretics? Sell a few indulgences? But that was back when the church was a ruling body. The governments deal with those things today.
Just because you don't have the power that you once
I'm
had.
not interested in the church as a power doctor. I'm interested in it as simplicity and peace. I know it's hard to find any institution nowadays, but tell me, what did we do to you? You wanted to nap in the backseat of a car when you were 15, but you couldn't because it was a sin. So instead of questioning that one
It
simple
wasn't sex!
Hmm.
It was a lot of things, but it wasn't sex. It started in the first grade when my best friend was hit by a car on her way to school. The nun said that she died because she hadn't said her morning prayers.
Stupid woman.
Yeah.
That's all.
That's all. That's enough. She was a beautiful little girl and she
Every
explained.
child is
I wasn't! I wasn't! And I hadn't said my morning prayers either. That's not funny.
No, of course it isn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So you hate the Catholic Church because of one stupid...
No, Yes! Yes, I hate the Catholic Church because of one stupid nun, and you know what?
What?
That's why I hate you too. Why is that so important to you? Her singing.
When I was a child, I spoke to my guardian angel. And I don't ask anything by her miraculous voices, but just as some children had invisible playmates, I had angelic conversations. Until I was about 6 or so when those voices stopped. I grew up, fell in love, was married, was widowed, joined the convent, but just as some sailors say they remember the sea, I remember that voice. One day, after I joined the convent, I looked at myself and saw nothing but a survivor of a failed marriage and 2 angry daughters. I was sure of nothing, not of heaven, not of myself, not even of God, Dr. Livingstone. Until one day, when I was walking along the convent walls and I heard a voice. I looked up and I saw our new postulant. It was Agnes. She was singing. It was beautiful. And in that moment, all of my doubts about heaven, about myself, about God vanished in an instant. I remembered that voice. Please, don't take it away from me again, Dr. Livingstone. It was years after 6, very bleak.
My sister died in a convent. It's her voice I hear. Would you like one?
I love one.
I can't tell you how many times I have tried to quit. Nothing's worked. And then last year I realized I was using up a box of matches a day. So I came up with the ingenious plan of cutting back on matches. First half a box, then a quarter box, and then down to 2 or 3 a day. Now look at me. Some days I don't even eat without a cigarette in my hand. But I can go 14 hours on a single match. You think the saints would have smoked? Had tobacco been available?
Undoubtedly. Not the ascetics, of course, or the St. Thomas harlots.
St. Ignatius would smoke a camel and stub it out on the sole of his feet?
Of course, all the apostles.
Hand rolled.
Even Christ would partake socially.
St. Peter, the original Marlboro man.
St. Joan would chew male pouch.
Mary Magdalene.
Cuban cigars.
And what do you suppose are today's saints smoking?
There are no saints today. Good people, yes, but extraordinarily good people. I'm afraid of those we are sorely lacking.
Do you think they ever existed? These extraordinarily good people.
Yes, I do.
Wouldn't you like to become one?
To become? No. One is born a saint. Only, no one is born a saint today. We've evolved too much. We're much too complicated.
But you can try. Can't you? To be good?
Yes, but goodness has very little to do with it. Not all the saints were good. In fact, most of them were crazy. But their souls were with God, left in his hands at birth. We're born, we live, we die. Trailing clouds of glory, no more. We're all solid, sensible men and women. No freaks here. Money in the bank, innocence trampled underfoot. Our minds cut open, our bodies dissected. No soul here. God. No hell. We're better off. Less disease for one thing. No room for miracles. But my God, I miss the miracles.
Do you believe miracles really happen?
Yes. I believe in the miracle of loaves and fish as strongly as I doubt it today. I mean, what have we gained in logic? We've lost in faith. More sort of primitive wonder. The closest thing we come to a miracle today is in bed. And we'd give anything for it, including those small bits of us that might still, by the smallest chance, be, I don't know, clinging to our souls, reaching back to God.
The saints had lovers.
Yes, the saints had lovers, but once was a cord, then it was a rope, now it's a thread.
Do you believe Agnes is still attached to God?
That's some different singing.
It's time to begin.
Again, what?
The hypnotism. You still disapprove?
Will you stop if I do?
No.
May I stay?
Of course.
Oh. Then, let us begin.
Could you go? The hypnosis took weeks to achieve, not minutes. An hour a day spaced between a kleptomaniac and an exhibitionist, between lunch and dinner, between sleepless nights, endless weekends. But my memories, they come out too easily. Sometimes I can't even finish a sentence. They come rushing out mid-thought. I know.
I'm frightened.
Don't be. I cannot make you say or do anything that you do not wish to say or do. Now, sit back and relax. All right. I want you to imagine that you are listening to a chorus of angels. Their music is so beautiful and so real that you feel like you can touch it. It surrounds you like a very warm, very comfortable pool of water. The water is so warm and lovely that you can hardly feel it there. All of the muscles in your body are melting into this pool of water. The water is up to your chin, but you know that this water is music. So even if you are fully submerged, you can still breathe freely and deeply. Now, the water covers your chin, your mouth, your nose, your eyes. Close your eyes, Agnes. Thank you. When I count to 3, you will wake up. Agnes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Who am I?
Dr. Livingstone.
And why am I here?
To help me.
Good. And could you tell me why you're here?
because I'm in trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I'm afraid
Of what?
of telling you.
Well, don't be. It's easy. It's only a breath with sounds. What kind of trouble, Agnes?
I had a baby.
How did you have a baby?
It came out of me.
Did you know it was going to come out?
Yes.
Did you want it to come out?
No.
Why not?
Because I wasn't worthy.
Of being a mother.
Yes.
Why not?
May I open my eyes now?
Not yet. Very soon, but not yet. Do you know how the baby got into you?
It grew.
How did it grow? Do you know?
Yes.
Would you like to tell me?
No.
Did you know the whole time you were going to have a baby?
Yes.
What did you do about it?
I drink lots of milk.
Why?
Because milk's good for babies.
You wanted the baby to be healthy.
Yes.
Then why didn't you go to a doctor?
Nobody would believe me.
That you were having a baby?
No. Not that.
What wouldn't they believe? Did anyone else know about the baby?
Yes.
Who?
I can't say.
Did you tell the other person, or did the other person guess?
She guessed.
One of your fellow sisters.
Yes.
Will she be angry if you tell me her name?
She made me promise not to.
All right, Agnes. I want you to imagine a night about 4 months ago. A night when you were very sick at around 6 in the evening.
I'm afraid.
Don't be, I'm here, all right?
All right.
Okay. What did you do that night before you went to bed?
I ate.
What did you have for dinner?
Fish. Brussels sprouts.
What else?
A little coffee. And some sherbet for dessert. That was special.
And then what?
I left early because I wasn't feeling very well.
What was wrong?
Just tired. I had my milk.
Who gave you your milk?
Sister Margaret.
Was she the one who knew about the baby? All right. Agnes, let's go to your room. I want you to imagine your room and see it as you saw it on that night. What do you see?
My bed.
What else? What else is in the room?
A chair.
Where's that?
Here.
Anything else?
A crucifix.
Above the bed.
Yes.
What else? Agnes, is there something there? Something different?
Yes.
Something that's not usually in the room.
Yes.
And what is that?
A waste paper basket.
Do you know who put it there?
No.
Why do you think it's there?
For me to get sick in.
Are you ill?
Yes.
hard enough to go through it once, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you remember what just happened?
Yes.
Good. Good. Do you feel like you can stand?
Yes.
There.
You formed your opinion about her, haven't you?
She's a very disturbed young woman, but
Your
I don't
job
feel
here is
that
done.
As far as the court is concerned, yes, but personally, I
Personally?
still.
I don't think you were asked to become personally involved.
But I am.
And I'm asking you to get the hell out of here. If we want to hire a psychiatrist for Agnes, we'll find one ourselves, thank you.
One who will ask the questions you want asked
One who will treat this matter with objectivity and respect.
for the church.
For Agnes.
You still think that my interference will destroy some sort of special aura about her.
She's a remarkable person.
That does
Doctor.
not make her a saint.
I never said she was.
Well, that's what you think, isn't it?
She's been touched by God, yes.
Prove it to me. She sings. Is that unique? She stops eating, bleeds spontaneously. Is that supposed to convince me that she shouldn't be touched? I want a miracle, Mother. Nothing less. And then I will leave her alone.
The father.
Who is he?
Why must he be anybody?
You're as crazy as the rest of your family.
saying
Do you think
it's
this big white dove flew in through her window?
Oh, I can't believe that.
That would be a little scary, wouldn't it? Second coming, stopped by hysterical
This
nuns.
is not the second coming, Doctor. Don't misunderstand
You
me.
just said that there
I'm
wasn't
not
any
saying
father.
it's true. I'm just saying, if it is, it's nothing short of a slightly miraculous
Nothing
scientific
short. Oh,
event.
please. Mother, you expect me to believe that kind of bullshit?
I don't care what you believe.
I mean, if this is some sort of scientific miracle, there has to be a reasonable explanation.
What are miracles then, but without an explanation? That's why people like you fail to believe in miracles, because you demand an answer.
What?
And when you don't get one, you create one.
What the hell are you talking about?
Unanswered questions, Doctor. Tiny discrepancies in what people like you say is the way of the world.
This is insane.
The mind is a remarkable thing. You know as well as I do. People bend spoons, stop watches. Zen archers shoot arrows right down the middle, one after the other. We have begun to explore the mind's possibilities. If she is capable of putting a hole in the palm of her hand without the benefit of a nail, what is stopping her from splitting two cells in her womb?
Hysterical parthenogenesis. That's what you're saying.
Partheno what?
The female's ability in lower life forms to reproduce alone?
I don't pretend to understand.
If
any-
frogs can do it, why not Agnes?
2,000 years ago, people believe a man was born without a father. Now, no intelligent person today accepts that without question. We want answers, yes. That's in the nature of science, but look at the answers we provide. An angel came down to a woman in a shaft of light, hysterical parthenogenesis. If these are the answers are crazy. If these are the answers, I wonder if people like you fail to believe in miracles.
The virgin birth was a lie, told to a cuckolded husband by his frightened wife.
Yes, that's a plausible explanation. That's what you're looking for, right? Plausibility. But I believe it's also in the nature of science to wonder. And we cannot wonder if we were not willing to question without demanding an answer.
We have to look for answers.
But you won't always find them. There was no man in the convent that night. There was no way for any man to get in.
So you're saying God did it?
No, this is what you're saying. Father Marshall had something to do with this. I'm saying God permitted
But
it.
how did it happen?
You won't find the answers to everything. 1 and 1 is yes. But that leads to 4, and then to 8, and soon to infinity. The wonder of science is not in the answers it provides, but in the questions it uncovers. For every miracle finally explained, 10,000 more are brought into being.
I thought you didn't believe in miracles today.
But I want to believe. I want the opportunity to believe. I want the choice to believe.
What you are choosing to believe is a lie because you don't want to face the fact that she was raped or seduced or that she did the seducing.
She's an innocent.
That does not make her an enigma. Everything that Agnes has done is explainable by modern psychiatry. She's a hysteric. She was molested as a child. She has an absentee father, an alcoholic mother. She was locked in a house until she was 17. A convent until she was 21. 1, 2, 3.
It's right that you choose to believe that she's the sum of her psychological
That
parts.
is what I have to believe.
Then why are you so obsessed with her? You're losing sleep over her, thinking of her all the time. Why? That is a question. No answer needed. I'm not accusing, I'm recognizing. I'm an expert in the symptoms. We're in this together, you and I.
So you believe that God permitted her, possibly permitted her to have a child.
Not divine.
Not divine, just a child, without the benefit of a man,
Yes, that is what I would like to believe.
without proof.
Definitely without proof. There is no infallible proof for virginity, only the lack of evidence against it.
But what about the bloody sheets on the night of the conception?
I don't know.
And why did the baby die?
I don't know.
Do you think God made a mistake and tried to correct it?
Don't be absurd.
Or is all this a cover-up to get me away from the truth?
Why would I want to
Because
do that?
this is murder we are talking about.
Murder.
You believe that Agnes is innocent. I believe she's innocent too of this crime. Like you, I have no proof, but I am looking. And if there is any out there, I will find it.
Don't turn this into some kind of murder mystery, Doctor.
Aren't you concerned about what she told us? About the other person
I
in
am
the room?
concerned with her
Who
health.
was that other person, Mother? Was it you?
If you continue to believe that this is a case of murder, it is the district attorney you must consult, not me. And definitely not Agnes.
Where are you going?
To the court to have you taken off this case.
Why? Am I getting too close to the truth?
Doctor, I pray that
Agnes is innocent, isn't she?
someday you may
Isn't
understand my position. Goodbye, Doctor. Oh. And as for that miracle you wanted, I believe it has happened. To you. It's a very small one, but you'll notice it soon enough.
You were fighting?
Agnes! Oh, has Mother Miriam ever threatened you?
No.
Or frightened you in any
Why
way?
are you asking
Because
that?
I believe she may have
Sister
threatened
Agnes!
Coming, Mother.
Agnes, I
I
need
won't see you again, will I?
You will. You will. I promise. You will. But Agnes, I need to know who was the other person in the room. Do you know?
Yes.
Who was it?
My mother.
Agnes!
Goodbye.
I dreamt that night that I was a midwife in a small private hospital in a faraway land. I was dressed in white, and the room I was in was white, and there was a window open, so I could see the mountains of snow all around. Below me, on a table, lay a woman prepared for a cesarean. She began to scream, and I knew I had to cut the baby out as quickly as possible. I slipped a knife inside her stomach, and I reached my hands inside to the wrist. And all of a sudden, I felt a tiny hand grab hold of my finger and begin to pull. And the mother pushed down on my head, and the tiny creature inside drew me in, to my elbows, to my shoulders, to my chin. I opened my mouth to scream, and it filled with blood. I woke up gasping to find the sheets around me spotted with blood. My own blood. My somewhat sporadic menstrual cycle had ceased altogether some 3 years ago. But on that night, it began again. What would I have done with a child? Nothing. Nothing. The next morning, I asked for and received an order from the court to have Agnes returned to my care. As a doctor, I should have known better, but as a person, I am not made of stone. I am made of flesh and blood and heart and soul. This is the last reel. No alternate in sight.
You've won, haven't you?
Not at all, not yet.
You've decided to take her apart.
I've decided to hypnotize her again.
Hasn't she had enough?
And I'd like to ask you a few questions that I wasn't able to ask you before.
My God, you're vindictive.
Because you so cleverly steered me away from them.
Then ask.
Did Agnes ever say anything about feeling unwell during her pregnancy?
Yes.
Then why didn't you send her to a doctor?
She wouldn't go. She was afraid.
Oh, did she tell you that or did you guess?
If you continue to persecute,
I am not
I will
persecuting you.
I'm a nun, and you hate nuns.
Did you know about Agnes's pregnancy? Yes or no?
Yes.
You didn't even send her to a doctor.
It was too late.
Too late for what? An abortion?
Don't be absurd.
Too late for what, Mother?
I don't know. Too late to stop it. It was too late, but I had to try. I made her promise not to tell anyone. I had no time to think.
But you didn't get it, did you?
No. That night she was ill, I knew.
The time had run out.
Yes.
So you went to her room to help her with the birth.
She didn't want help.
But you wanted the baby out of the way.
That's a lie.
You hid the waste paper basket.
I didn't hide it. I put it there for the blood and dirty sheets.
And the baby.
No.
You tied the umbilical cord around its neck.
I simply wanted her to have it when no one was around. I would have taken it to the hospital. I would have given it to them, but there was so much blood. I panicked.
Before or after you killed that child.
I left it with her. I went to get help.
I doubt that's what she'll say.
And she's a goddamn liar. All right. Let's finish this once and for all.
I'd like to ask you a few more questions. Is that all right?
Yes.
And I'd like to hypnotize you again. Is that all right too?
Yes.
Sit back and relax. All right. You are once again going to enter the pool of water. Only this time, I want you to imagine that there are holes in your body. And the warm water is flowing through those holes, so fresh and so clean, like prayer. It flows behind your eyes, and you feel your eyes grow so sleepy, so heavy. Close your eyes, Agnes. Thank you. When I count to 3, you will wake up. Agnes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I want you to remember a night, if you can. A night about a year ago, when one of the older sisters in the convent died.
Sister Paul.
The night when Sister Paul died. Do you remember?
Yes.
What's wrong?
I liked Sister Paul.
Agnes? What happened that night?
She sent me to bed early.
Who did?
Mother.
Did you go?
Yes.
All right, Agnes, I want you to imagine your room at the convent and see it as you saw it on that night. Tell us what happened.
I woke up.
What time is it?
I don't know.
Can you see anything?
No. Not at first, but...
What is it?
There's someone in the room!
Are you frightened?
Yes!
What do you do?
Who is it? Who's there? But I am afraid! Yes. Yes, I do. Why me? Wait, I want to see you!
What do you see?
A flower. Waxy, white. A drop of blood sinking into the petals, flowing through the veins. A halo. Millions of tiny halos dividing and dividing. Feathers or stars falling into the iris of God's eye. Oh my God. He sees me. Oh, it's so lovely, so blue, so green, so yellow, so brown. Blood. His blood. My blood. My God! My God! I'm bleeding! I'm bleeding! Oh Yes.
Mother Miriam was there, wasn't she?
Yes.
She took the baby in her arms.
Yes.
You saw it all, didn't you?
Yes.
And then what did she do? What did she do, Agnes?
She left me alone with the little thing. I thought, this is a mistake. But it's my mistake, not Mummy's. God's mistake. I thought, I can save her. I can give her back to God.
What did you do?
I put her to sleep.
How?
I tied the cord around her neck, wrapped her in the bloody sheets, and stuffed her in the waste paper basket. No.
1, 2, 3. Mother? Mother, please. You were right. All this time I thought she was just some unconscious innocent. Thank you, doctor. We need psychiatrists like you to expose all the lies that stupid people like myself wanted to believe. I will never forgive you for what you've taken away from me today. Please, never. You should have died. Not your sister, you!
Why are you crying? But I believe I do! Oh, sweet lady. Oh, please don't you leave me too. Oh, be good. I won't be your bad baby anymore. No, Mummy. I don't want to go with you. Stop pulling me. Your hands are on. Don't touch me. Don't burn me. Don't burn me. I stood in the window of my room every night for a week. And one night, I heard the most beautiful voice imaginable. It came from a wheat field beyond my room. And when I looked out, I saw the moon shining down on him. For 6 nights, he sang to me songs I never heard before. And on the 7th night, he came into my room. And he laid on top of me. And all while he sang, Charlie sweet and Charlie sweet, and Charlie he's a dandy. Every time he goes to town, he gets his girls some candy. Over the river and through
he gets his girl some candy. I don't know the truth behind that song. Yes, maybe it was a song of seduction, and the father was a field hand. Or maybe it was simply a remembered lullaby, sung many years before, and the father was hope and love, a belief in miracles. I never saw them again. The next morning, I removed myself from the case. Mother Miriam threw Agnes on the mercy of the court. She was sent to a hospital, where she stopped singing and eating, and where she died. Why? Why? Why was a child molested and a baby killed and a mind destroyed? Was it to the simple end that not 2 hours ago this doubting, menstruating, non-smoking psychiatrist began what? A confession? What kind of God can permit such a wonder one as her to come trampling through this well-ordered existence? I want an answer! I want a reason! Because I miss her! I miss her! Because I want to believe that she was blessed. That she was Agnes of God. And that somehow she left some little part of herself with me. That would be miracle enough, wouldn't it?